Does your ordinary radio feel a little limited? If you're looking for a new way to listen, it's time for a fresh start. Introducing the Live the Dream Media app, your premier destination and a new level up for digital radio. Over the last 2 years,
All right, good morning. Welcome to Southwest Flavor. We'll in one more time for the Vacationing Ron Arenas. Got a great show for you today. First of all, let me introduce my co-host, he's a beautiful man. He is just a beautiful man.
Thank you.
Yeah. Mr. Scott Tilley, ladies and gentlemen.
How is everybody doing today?
Oh, awesome, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for joining me today, man.
I appreciate it. I'm subbing in for the coolest couple in Tucson, yeah?
Yeah, well,
At this time of the year.
Yeah, they're not in. Yeah, they're definitely not. They're cool right now up in the mountains, right?
That's right.
Yeah, awesome. Well, we got a great guest today. Well, actually, we got two really good guests today.
Great.
Yeah, so let me introduce this gentleman here. I'm gonna even go right with what we put on our Facebook post here. Our first guest is former Pima College coach, former Team USA 18U coach, and current candidate for Arizona Senate LD17. Mr. Edgar Soto, welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you for having me. I've enjoyed this already, talking to Scott and talking to you, Will, out there. You're a El Paso background and baseball background. We have a mutual connection with Alan Zinner, who's El Paso and then came to University of Arizona.
Yeah.
For those baseball enthusiasts, they'll know who Alan Zinner is.
Yeah, and did you know that, I should have brought this out there, but I'll tell you now about Alan Zinner. And I don't know if you knew this or not, and I'm sure you do, but he was ambidextrous.
Oh, really?
He used to catch.
Yeah.
For Hanks High School.
Mm-hmm.
And he could throw anybody out at second base. No one ran on him.
Yeah.
But he can throw anybody out with either hand.
Yeah.
You know.
I'm still waiting for a left-handed big league catcher. That'd be awesome. It'll probably never happen. You'll probably get a left-handed shortstop before you get a left-handed catcher, huh?
Yeah. That would be something.
Yeah, that'd be something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Edgar, tell us a little bit about yourself, man. Introduce you to yourself to our
Well, born and raised here in Tucson, Arizona. Been here for my 57 years.
Let me guess, Tucson High?
Tucson High, just like Ron Arenas.
I tell Ron. I tell Ron everybody graduated from Tucson High.
Oh no, yeah. So I didn't even know Ron, and then I was talking to my fiance Christine on the phone. I was like, "Yeah, I'm doing this podcast." Ron, oh yeah, Tucson High. I was like, "Wait, what? He went to Tucson High?"
Yeah.
Yeah, we saw him at there was a reunion because she graduated She graduated in 91 with him, or whenever he graduated. But yeah, I didn't realize he's a Badger like me.
Yeah.
So grew up here, and then I went to Arizona Western Community College to play baseball there, and then
you're passing something by though.
Wait,
I hear there was
state
a
champion.
championship.
Oh yeah, we won a
right?
state championship in 1987, and then they won another one in 1988. So
Nice.
I wasn't there for that one. Yeah, so that was really cool. And then I ended up playing 2 years at Arizona Western. Then I went and played at University of New Mexico in Albuquerque, 2 years there. So amazing experience. And then after that, I joined the Marine Corps and did the Marine Corps. And at that time, I was in the reserves. I was also teaching middle school. So I taught middle school for 6 years, social studies, PE and health, and then was a baseball coach. Then I was athletic director. Then I was a dean of fitness and wellness, dean of arts and humanities. And the last 6 years, I've been a vice president at Pima Community College. Been there for 32 years.
Wow.
I'm like 3 years past my retirement date. Yeah,
That's
so
a
I'm
well-rounded man, right?
Oh
there.
yeah, yeah. I've done a lot. Yeah.
So sports and education.
Well, yeah, it's really cool. I mean that, for me, we had football at Pima for a while, right? And there was always questions, should we keep football because it's expensive, right? So my philosophy is always this, is the lure to get them there might be the sport, but the goal is to get them hooked on higher education. So we ended up dropping football a while back in 2018 just because it wasn't a Pima Community College that wanted to drop it. The 4 schools in Phoenix, Glendale, Scottsdale, South Mountain, and Phoenix College dropped their programs. And then Arizona Western dropped theirs, Eastern Arizona, so we didn't have anybody to play. Yeah. But that was hard because when you get 100 young men who have a lot of testosterone and like to hit heads,
right? Yeah.
You're always going to have issues with football. I don't care how good your coach is. When you got 19, 20-year-olds, but I tell you what, you'd rather have them 100 kids at a college campus than out on the street. And I have so many stories of young men that, maybe came there just wanting to play football, but then end up getting a degree or some kind of pathway to a good job, some kind of skill. So.
Well, I think that starts in high school, Edgar. I know, I graduated back in '86. I believe you were 87, you
Yep.
said, right? And I know many of us, myself included, what got us through high school was sports.
Yeah.
We had to keep our grades up to be able to play sports. And today, our kids, our grandkids, they're, the sport, they're not even part of the sports. It's all computers, it's all hand games, it's all, digital stuff on there. And most of them aren't very that interested in school right now.
Yeah.
So I think sports is a huge thing. Even starting from junior high, high school.
Yeah, I don't know. I know, Scott. You had to play sports. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
You're. Well, let me guess. Were you like a middle linebacker or something?
I was a cornerback.
Oh, cornerback.
Yeah,
Oh, so you had some wheels. You could run.
had some wheels.
But you didn't have
some
good
running.
hands because you would have been a receiver.
So I did
Well, look at
a
those
little
hands.
a little
Look
of
at those
both. I
hands.
played quarterback and kind of like flank, so I could catch the ball and throw the ball, and then I punted and kicked.
Oh,
as
so you're
well.
one of
So,
those all-around athletes.
Yeah,
Did you do basketball?
I like to at a
basketball,
young age. I
baseball
like to
also?
bang heads too, as
Oh,
you
yeah.
kind of said. I related with that.
Yeah,
for sure.
no, I tell you, it's something about it when you can kind of just, I don't know, for guys with like wrestling and all this other stuff, there's some to it when you just, that's kind of how we're built. So, but yeah, no, when he walked in, I could tell he was an athlete, right?
Yeah, I said the same thing, linebacker.
Yeah, linebacker, yeah.
Linebacker.
Well, my real calling was basically racing. I started racing motorcycles and quads, and then as I got older, age comes with a cage, as the saying goes.
Yeah.
So, and then I got hurt, so
Yeah.
I don't get to do much of that stuff anymore at all, except for just kind of stay out of the way.
Yeah, no, that's part of it, man, is trying to stay healthy. If you can stay healthy, there's a lot of things change. But no, I think sports, but here's the other thing. So I was Dean of Arts and Humanities also. So the other thing that I've learned is that also like in the arts, like music or theater, all these different things, if you can stay connected with the college or the high school, so I think it's important that we continue to have these extracurricular activities because when you can build like a cohort of people who look out for each other, and that's the one thing like with athletics. So if you're just a student and you miss school that day, nobody's going to say much. But if you're part of a group, a tribe, hey, I'm in dance together, I'm in theater. Hey, where's Will at? Like, it wasn't, hey, let's give him a call. Hey, Will, I didn't have a ride. My car, let's give him a ride. Like, so that's why it's important to create community. And if you got to create those spaces and conditions so people can come together and have some kind of dialogue or some kind of way to talk to each other, meet each other, those kind of things. So that's always important.
Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Scott's racing career, he showed us some videos, and it's some pretty crazy stuff that they were doing.
Yeah.
You
So
know,
so
so
you
he
I know.
was
So
racing.
you said motorcycles and quads.
Yeah.
See, that's like at least in a car you have like this outer layer,
a cage
airbag,
around you, yeah.
cage around you, and that's that's challenging. But so I'm sure you've been in some wrecks, right? Some
Oh,
things.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a big wreck in 2019 at the Parker 400 race, and that was kind of the end of the race car stuff. And my wife kind of put a stop to it.
Yeah.
She's like, no, you need to be around here for us. Your hobby's kind of getting in the way, and it was it took me out for 2 years literally. So, and it's just one of those things, racing is dangerous, and you could walk out in the street tomorrow and get hit by a bus. But at the same time, when you get to be 55, I need to start lowering my risks a little bit. So.
Yeah.
But the sports, I think, like you said, I think the sports and just doing that teammate stuff and the camaraderie, with the guys and the girls, just you looking out for each other. Somebody is sick or something. Hey, what are we gonna do? Well, we can't do it. Well, so and so's gone.
Yeah.
Who's gonna fill that gap? And usually all the friends will kind of step up and fill the gap, but you're still missing that, you're still missing that key link to your
like that,
your community.
Yeah,
right?
and that's the thing, and that's kind of the reason sports and politics and all these things, and that's what frustrates me most about politics is you know, when you're part of a team, you work with everybody. And what I love about sports and the military is you work with different races, different genders. Like you, and the mission's the mission, right? And then what you realize is when you put yourself in proximity of different cultures, different races, different people, you realize like we all want the same thing, right? We want to love and be loved, and we want our life to matter. And so that's why I love these opportunities where people have opportunities to, because when we get into our little tribes and like gridlock, we just make assumptions. Right. And so my thing is like, I want to talk to everybody, and people, you know, for me, like, hey, how are you going to work with the Republicans? You're a Democrat. I said, yeah, I'm a Democrat, moderate Democrat, but best idea wins. It doesn't matter if it comes from a Democrat, Republican, independent. That's the thing. I want to be able to like use my skills as a coach, as a teacher, as a leader. How can we come together, make good decisions, and create an Arizona that's there for the future for my kids? I got 2 boys, Jonas and Amaury, like my kids' kids, that, you know, we do have water for the future. We do, you know, and like you and I were talking before the podcast is, you know, we just got to do it in a smart way and come together and make smart decisions. And that's kind of what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, it's to me, it's not Republican or Democrat or independent. It's, you know, like coming from a farming community, like I talked about, like, you know, if somebody got sick, we went and harvested and helped harvest their fields.
Love that.
We helped take their kids to school. We made sure that they had meals after church. And it's that type of mindset that really kind of pushes the human race forward. Well, I think when we're kind of at each other just battling, we're taking steps backwards. We're not really, you know, we're not really getting anywhere. And I think the way I kind of look at it is like you said, is kind of we all should have a common goal. The common goal is our community, our kids, our streets, our schools, you know, our leadership. We want, you know, we want to be comfortable, right? Nobody likes to fight. But, you know, it seems like anymore, like people like to see the fights. It's almost like, oh, I just got to see the drama. Right. I want to see the drama unfold. And
everything's publicized now.
Yeah.
You know?
And I mean, it's good and bad things, but I think like everything has gotten, COVID, I think, probably changed a lot of that too, but we really got to get back to that. Our kids and, you know, sports and the community. Those 3 things are the most important things in life, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just go ahead, Will. Were you going to say something?
I'll just, you know what, we're going to get back into this, and we'll talk about LD17 when we get back. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to take a quick commercial break to, you know, say hi to our sponsors.
All right.
In Marana, community isn't just where we live, it's who we are. And at the heart of it all is the Marana Chamber of Commerce. We are building a thriving community through connected business leadership. We start the month bright and early with Marana Mornings, sparking real conversations and connections. We celebrate growing networks at our 4th Tuesday mixers, hosted in exciting spaces. We unite visionaries and leaders at Impact Marana, driving meaningful progress together. We look ahead with Marana Insights, hearing directly from regional voices about what's next for our town. And we serve through the passion of our board of directors and ambassadors, creating a culture of belonging through service and leadership. Because of our members, we're not just doing more, we're becoming more. Together, we're shaping the future of Marana. We are the Marana Chamber of Commerce.
Estrella Insurance on Irvington Road will help you with all your insurance needs. If you feel like you have a hard case due to a moving violation, a DUI, a suspended license or a car accident, contact us and come to Estrella Insurance on Irvington Road and get a quote today. Open late hours y hablamos español. Estrella Insurance, an agency you can trust.
Like heat and air, we're in a state of disrepair. Spring is in the air and our warm temperatures are about to turn hot. Now is the time to take advantage of pre-summer savings before the hot summer weather. Picturox Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing is offering 5-year, no-interest financing on the installation of green HVAC systems, OAC. Call now for your free estimate, 520-492-0748, or make your appointment online at picturoxcooling.com.
Picturox Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing.
Piper Family Painting. We believe great paint does more than just change a color. It protects a home and the people inside of it. From careful prep to the final coat, our team shows up with pride, precision, and respect for your property. We don't rush, we don't cut corners. We paint it like it's our own home, because in this Tucson community, it is. Piper Family Painting, bringing new colors to the Old West.
Therapeutic Ranch for Animals and Kids is an inclusive community empowered and united by the strength of the human-animal bond.
It taught me responsibility. It taught me kindness and social interaction.
We have programs for every member of our community.
I love TRAK because I have 2 daughters. We come out here and get all of our energy out.
TRAK is my home away from home.
You can make a donation or even become a monthly donor.
Thank you for supporting TRAK, Tucson's Ranch. We hope to see you here soon.
Life is all about change and growth. You grow from renting to buying, your kids grow from toddling to driving, and then you grow from working to retiring. Is your insurance agent growing through life with you? I'm your local Allstate agent, Brittany Gutman. My team and I can help you navigate all those changes through home, auto, and life insurance. You're in good hands with the Brittany Gutman Allstate Insurance family. Call me at 520-797-7811 or email bgutman@allstate.com.
All right, and we are back. Welcome back to the Southwest Flavor with Ron Arenas, who's not here today, right? He's out enjoying some nice weather with his wife, right?
Did he slip it?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, no. So you could catch Ron Arenas on Tuesdays and Thursdays, every Tuesday, Thursday morning from 9 a.m. to 10 p.m., right after Chris's show. Did I say p.m.?
Yeah.
p.m.?
Yeah, that was a long day for him.
That was a long day, yeah. a.m. My bad, Ron. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Anyway, so we're talking here with Edgar Soto, LD17 candidate. So tell us a little bit about how you transitioned from athlete, educator, and now into politics.
Yeah. So, you know, as a teacher, right, you can impact 25, 30 people. As an athletic director, when I was an AD, you can impact 400 because I had 16 teams. You know, then as a dean, you can impact 2,000 people in your program, and then now as a vice president, maybe 5,000 people. And so my thing is this: is I want to be able to give people the experience I had here in Arizona. I had some important mentors in my life. I had important, coaches and stuff like that. And I think what I've seen from my experience is that, when I still teach a class at Pima, even though I'm an administrator, I think I might be the only one that does it. And when I talk to students, they don't care a lick about politics. What they want? They want a good job with a livable wage to live a life of meaning and purpose. Simple as that. So I think the thing that's important to me is giving people access to make sure that we invest in people, because when you invest in people, you have stronger communities. So me running for a state senate position is just trying to scale that up, trying to create conditions and things like we talked about where people can come together and have good experiences and come up and solve problems. I mean, that's what I love doing. I love putting together teams. I love solving problems, and I love helping people get to their potential, right? I had people in my life that, didn't see me where I was, but saw me where I could be, right? And so for me, that's something that is really important to create those type of conditions. Because when we're at the kitchen table, we're not talking about, we're worried about more like how do we pay our bills? So how can we have affordable and accessible housing? My mom's 93 years old. Her mortgage has gone from $1,100 to $1,700, not because she's done anything wrong or refinanced, because of property taxes and homeowners insurance. We were talking about earlier. Well, so that's important. If people can't purchase a house in the communities they work in, we've got an issue. And we've got to do some things to change that. Also, affordable and accessible health care. I mean, the way we get billed for things is crazy. My son had surgery, and And they called me. I was paying the bill, $2,800, and they say, but if you pay it by this date, it's $1,800. I said, what if I pay it right now? $700. Like, that's not right. Like, you can't. Like, we shouldn't be fluctuating prices. There should be some transparency there, you know. And a couple years ago, I had COVID, and I bought that Paxlovid, whatever it's called, and I said, I'll just pay out of pocket. It was $1,000. I said, oh, I better use my insurance, you know, and so $400. This is crazy, $400. And then I started to do some investigating stuff. Oh, you know what? You call the manufacturer, it's free. I'm like, somebody who's 75, 80, I have a master's degree and 2 bachelors. It took me a while to navigate this.
Yeah.
You know, so those things are crazy. Like, we should not, there's got to be transparency. Some of these things that we're getting gouged, and states legislation can do things about this. We can be more transparent. And the other thing, if we don't invest in public education, we're gonna be in trouble, because that's our future, right? And so we need to make sure that not just access, but outcomes to good jobs. And I know there's a lot of stuff going on with the ESA vouchers, accountability. You know, we all as taxpayers want to know where our money's going, and if, you know, what are the measurables to make sure that what we're investing in is being, you know, is there, you know, is we're getting the outcomes we want, right? So that's another reason I'm doing that. You know, I ran. Just let me know when I.
You're good. You're fine.
Okay. You know, I ran for county supervisor a couple years ago, and I heard Clint Peake talking about failures, because I failed. I didn't win, right? But I learned so much, and it really put me in a good place for this opportunity here. And you know, and I just want to be accessible. I want you to be able to pick up the phone, call me, and whether cuss and discuss, whatever you call it, we should always be accessible. And I, as an administrator, I've worked for Pima for over 30 years. I've given every student my cell number, every employee my cell number, and I'll do that as a legislator also. My card has my personal cell number on that. You know, I want you to be able to call me and say, hey, this is what concerns me. And, you know, I want to be able to respond. So being accessible and willing to work with both sides, best idea wins, is important to me. And just, you know, you kind of asked me what got me into that, and it wasn't something that, you know, that changed my way of thinking. When I was going through this process, there was a group that was kind of recruiting me, and I told them, hey, if there's somebody better than me, like, I'll support them. I just want the best person up there, and you know, thank goodness they chose me. But, you know, I've had a good career. I've had a good life, and my thing is, I want to get back. My whole life has been about service. Yeah. Whether it's the Marine Corps, whether it's a teacher, and I love to help people get to their potential, and I love creating pathways. And I see things firsthand from our students, how these policies, these statutes, these laws impact students. Yeah. And I can tell you from experience that there are things we can do better if people are willing to work together. So I know we got about a minute left. So. But I just, give me my little spill before we shut down.
We're good. We can go a little bit over. Scott, you got anything for us?
Well, it's just kind of interesting to hear your story. I've had a lifetime of kind of service myself, kind of similar kind of backgrounds in sports, and, you know, really community oriented and family and stuff like that. And you've made a life of service, and you know, my hat is off to you,
my
sir.
hat's off to you too.
Put that back on, buddy.
Well, you know, I was going to switch it out because I know we're going into baseball season, aren't we?
There you go.
So you know,
we're in it. We're in it.
So
well,
but
it's too bad he didn't bring a major league hat, huh?
Hey,
he's got the Diamondbacks.
Hey,
oh wow, that's tough. Oh, you got a Dodgers fan here, huh?
But what really like? What drove you to get into politics? Because a lot of people, like, when they're in the service, the service is one thing, politics is a whole other gamut.
You know, it's what you said, Scott, earlier. So Scott said something, and this was offline. So Scott said, you know, when we were, you know, working on the farm, if somebody was sick or hurting, we all helped each other, right? We helped each other. So there's a scripture that James chapter 2, verse 8 that says, love your neighbor as yourself. And I've always said that if you can treat every person like you'd want your own kid to be treated, your own loved one to be treated, we're going to be on the right track. And I just want to take that, you know, my service kind of way of doing things, and I want to see if I can scale that up and help even more people. But it's what you said, Scott, exactly what you said is trying to help others, and when they're down and they're hurting and they need some extra help, being there for that. Not a handout, a hand up kind of thing. So,
exactly.
Yep.
No,
that's awesome.
That's great, man.
Right.
That's great. You're a great man.
Right. So we got about 1 minute left. You want to tell our audience, you know, where they could find you? your website?
Well, yeah,
your
I do
contact
have a
information?
website. I think it's sotofораrizona.com. I think that's what it is. And you can find me on the website. But, you can, I'm going to share my number, 520-904-1334. That's my cell number. If you want to call me, talk. Like, I don't know everything, right? There's this famous Maya Angelou quote that says, I did what I knew. But when I knew better, I did better. I'm here to learn. Like, I don't have all the answers, and I rely on people like you guys to help guide me. Because if we decide this statute, this policy, how's this going to impact you personally? I want to know those things. How's the water going to impact the farmlands? Like, how are these things? How can we do things in a way that, we want to have development. We want to be responsible. And we also want to be aware of how we use water can impact the future and all that stuff. I just want to leave this place better than I found it. Yep. Thank you, guys.
Well,
Very
absolutely.
profound.
Well, Edgar, thank you very much for joining us today.
My pleasure.
We'd love to have you back.
You just tell me. I'll be here.
All right,
Yeah.
buddy.
Hey, real quick before he goes,
Yeah.
what's the best restaurant since we're on the flavor? What's your favorite restaurant?
So
in town?
I've my two favorite El Charo Steak on Oracle. Oh, like the steak is different. Like I've never had this steak, and I think it's because they don't put any steroids or other stuff. But Charo Steak, and then Bianchi's Pizza, Vince Bianchi. They have these wings. Oh, it'll make your tongue want to slap your brain. These wings are so good. Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Tongue
your tongue slap your
brain.
brain. That's how good
Yeah,
these wings are at Bianchi's.
Sounds like lunch later.
Sounds like lunch,
yes,
right?
yes.
Yeah.
Let me know. I got the hookup. I'll get you the Edgar Soto discount.
Attaboy.
Thank
All right,
you.
buddy.
All right, yeah,
thank
my
you,
pleasure.
thank you,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
All
All right, yeah,
All
my pleasure.
All right, we'll be right back with our next guest.
Good job, man.
All right, thank you, man. You guys are great. It's easy to talk.
Hey, Tucson, why do we accept pain as normal just because we're over 40? Nearly 8 out of 10 Americans suffer with back pain. At Wellness Chiropractic, we help people after car accidents with chronic neck and back pain, numbness tingling down the arms. If you're like me, you like to spend time outside with the family, hiking, biking, everything. Don't let that pain stop you. Wellness Key Chiropractic, we help that body move better so you can be the better version of yourself.
I've had water and mold damage in my house twice. Both times I freaked out, but I called Steamy Concepts right away. If anyone tries to tell you to use someone else, just say no way and call Steamy today.
About a year ago, we had a flood in our kitchen, and we didn't think to call anyone else but Steamy Concepts. They were very professional, and we really enjoyed working with Steamy Concepts.
Steamy Concepts accepts all homeowners insurance. Call Steamy today or go to steamyconcepts.com.
My heat and air were in a state of disrepair.
Spring is here and we've already experienced hot weather. Is your air conditioner ready for the long hot summer? For the month of April, Picture Rock's Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing will be offering a $99 home wellness plan for all new customers. This includes your spring maintenance, fall maintenance, and any plumbing maintenance. Call now, 520-492-0748, or make your appointment online at picturerockscooling.com.
Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing.
In Marana, community isn't just where we live, it's who we are. And at the heart of it all is the Marana Chamber of Commerce. We are building a thriving community through connected business leadership. We start the month bright and early with Marana Mornings, sparking real conversations and connections. We celebrate growing networks at our 4th Tuesday Mixers, hosted in exciting spaces. We unite visionaries and leaders at Impact Marana, driving meaningful progress together. We look ahead with Marana Insights, hearing directly from regional voices about what's next for our town. And we serve, through the passion of our board of directors and ambassadors, creating a culture of belonging through service and leadership. Because of our members, we're not just doing more, we're becoming more. Together, we're shaping the future of Marana. We are the Marana Chamber of Commerce.
Estrella Insurance on Irvington Road will help you with all your insurance needs. If you feel like you have a hard case due to a moving violation, a DUI, a suspended license or a car accident, contact us and come to Estrella Insurance on Irvington Road and get a quote today. Open late hours y hablamos español. Estrella Insurance, an agency you can trust.
You're listening to
the Live the Dream Media Network, Arizona's premier live podcast studio and online radio.
Thank you for listening to Live the Dream Media.
Does your ordinary radio feel a little limited? If you're looking for a new way to listen, it's time for a fresh start. Introducing the Live the Dream Media app, your premier destination and a new level up for digital radio. Over the last 2 years, we've found new ways to ensure your digital radio experience is the best it can possibly be. From live podcasts that spark new perspectives to a 24/7 soundtrack of live music, and even our built-in merch store. We've built a platform that is convenient, high quality, and simple to navigate. But we're only just getting started. Catch all of our shows weekly and join the Live the Dream Media family today and help us change the airwaves forever. Download it for free on the App Store or Play Store today. Live the dream. The dream starts now.
All right, welcome back to the program here. We have our next guest, Coach Ken Jacome from the Pima Community College Aztecs baseball. Welcome, Coach.
Thank you. Appreciate you having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell us a little bit about your background. How did you get into the whole coaching program here?
You know, when I finished playing in college,
where'd you play?
I played at Oklahoma City University.
Okay.
And it's kind of a funny story. I was finishing my last semester, and my old high school coach called me, a guy named Art Acosta. And Art called me and said he needed a JV coach for the spring. And I was graduating after the fall, and I thought, well, okay. I mean, let me give it a shot. I hadn't really thought about coaching, but you know, I figured I'd give it a shot. So I moved back to Tucson, and I started this coaching journey. So I coached a few years of high school ball, and Coach Stitt was the head coach at the University of Arizona. And, you know, I ran into him one night at out to dinner, and they had just lost one of their assistants. And he asked me if I wanted to come over and coach. And it was in the middle of the semester. And at the time, I was teaching. So I had to get out of my teaching contract because there was no way that I would be able to have the time to be coaching at the Division I level. So I started working for my dad. My dad had a plumbing company, and I started running jobs for him and things that I've done my whole life growing up. But now I was actually working every day, you know, running apartment jobs. I'd be up there in the morning going to work, and then I'd go straight to practice at the U of A, and then I would go to school at night and working on my master's degree. And so I did that for a couple years at the U of A, and then an opportunity came up at El Paso Community College. And Coach Stitt said, you need to go apply, or you need to go interview for this job. And I was like, nah, I'm not interested in going to El Paso. I'm perfectly happy here in Tucson. And he said, well, it'll be good for experience, so just go interview. And so I went ahead and went, and they offered me the job. And so talked to my wife about it, and had really no interest in it at first, but I thought, well, it's a great opportunity. So I took the job, and my wife and I moved out there, and we were there for 6 years, and went from there to the University of New Mexico, where Rich Alday was the head coach. And you know, Rich Alday and I had a relationship because him and my dad played together growing up, and he was the former head coach here at Pima, and so I had known him forever, and so did that, and then eventually wound up back here in Tucson as the coach, and now the AD. So it's been a crazy long journey, but it's been great. It's been great.
So are you still coaching? So you coach and AD?
I am. So basically, I have 2 jobs right now. I'm the head coach and also the athletic director. So, I oversee the programs, all of the programs, and then I coach my own program. So it's great. It's time consuming, stressful at times, but fortunately for me, we have a lot of great coaches at Pima, so it makes my job a little bit easier.
Yeah. And talk to me a little bit about the recruiting. How difficult is that?
Recruiting is never ending, so it's kind of a tough job. Obviously, it makes it easier when your teams win.
Right.
And so for us, we've had some success over the past few years and won some championships. And so, it's easier to get on the phone and talk to a young man and tell him, why Pima might be a good choice for him. And we've sent out over the past 7 years, over 70 guys have gone on from our program to play at the next level. And, probably at least 40 of them going to the Division I level. So
that's impressive.
It's exciting. And kids, and their families recognize that. And so they understand that, the opportunity to get on the field earlier in their career with a chance to develop and then move on to the next level. So, recruiting's tough, but it's much easier when you win.
Okay. And so most of your student athletes, are they there for 2 years?
Most of them are, but, some they only need 1 year. And when I recruit kids, I tell them, hey, we want you to be here. We want you to come and play for us. And, if you're ready after 1 year to move on to the next level, then we want you to be able to do that. And if it takes 2 years, it takes 2 years. So, last year we had 2 of our pitchers, Andres Castro and Luis Pablo Navarro, both freshmen, and they ended up signing, one with Tulane and one with Nevada, after their freshman year. And then we have a kid on our team this year who is a freshman, and he's already signed to go to the U of A next year. So, it just kind of depends, timing and needs for other schools.
Okay. Scott?
Yeah. What are your relationships with the other schools? Do you partner more with one than any other, or how's that really work out? Do you have like friends from other previous relationships and stuff like that?
Yeah, I coached at the Division I level at New Mexico for 14 years. So during that time, I was able to create some relationships with coaches, who might be assistant coaches or head coaches that are still at that level. So, one of my former players is a close friend of mine now who's, coaching at LSU, and he's won a couple national championships. And, so I talked to him quite a bit. The guys over at New Mexico where I was at, Todd Brown is a Tucsonan who I've known forever. He's the head coach there, played at the U of A. I think I have 7 or 8 guys that are at New Mexico right now from Pima. Obviously, the coaches here at the U of A are good friends of mine, and we have 4 or 5 kids on the U of A's roster with more coming. So, there's relationships all over the place, and, I try and, really work hard to get our guys' names out there so that they can be recruited.
Very nice. All right, we're going to take a really quick break, and then we'll come back with a little bit longer segment here.
Cool.
Okay, so we'll be back in just a couple minutes.
In Marana, community isn't just where we live, it's who we are. And at the heart of it all is the Marana Chamber of Commerce. We are building a thriving community through connected business leadership. We start the month bright and early with Marana Mornings, sparking real conversations and connections. We celebrate growing networks at our 4th Tuesday Mixers, hosted in exciting spaces. We unite visionaries and leaders at Impact Marana, driving meaningful progress together. We look ahead with Marana Insights, hearing directly from regional voices about what's next for our town. And we serve, through the passion of our board of directors and ambassadors, creating a culture of belonging through service and leadership. Because of our members, we're not just doing more, we're becoming more. Together, we're shaping the future of Marana. We are the Marana Chamber of Commerce.
Piper Family Painting. We believe great paint does more than just change a color. It protects a home and the people inside of it. From careful prep to the final coat, our team shows up with pride, precision, and respect for your property. We don't rush, we don't cut corners. We paint it like it's our own home, because in this Tucson community, it is. Piper Family Painting, bringing new colors to the Old West.
Therapeutic Ranch for Animals and Kids is an inclusive community empowered and united by the strength of the human-animal bond.
It taught me responsibility. It taught me kindness and social interaction.
We have programs for every member of our community.
I love TRAK because I have 2 daughters. We come out here and get all of our energy out.
TRAK is my home away from home.
You can make a donation or even become a monthly donor.
Thank you for supporting TRAK, Tucson's Ranch. We hope to see you here soon.
Life is all about change and growth. You grow from renting to buying, your kids grow from toddling to driving, and then you grow from working to retiring. Is your insurance agent growing through life with you? I'm your local Allstate agent, Brittany Gutman. My team and I can help you navigate all those changes through home, auto, and life insurance. You're in good hands with the Brittany Gutman Allstate Insurance family. Call me at 520-797-7811 or email bgutman@allstate.com.
Hey Tucson, why do we accept pain as normal just because we're over 40? Nearly 8 out of 10 Americans suffer with back pain. At Wellness Chiropractic, we help people after car accidents with chronic neck and back pain, numbness tingling down the arms. If you're like me, you like to spend time outside with the family, hiking, biking, everything. Don't let that pain stop you. Wellness Chiropractic, we help that body move better so you can be the better version of yourself.
I've had water and mold damage in my house twice. Both times I freaked out, but I called Steamy Concepts right away. If anyone tries to tell you to use someone else, just say no way and call Steamy today.
About a year ago, we had a flood in our kitchen, and we didn't think to call anyone else but Steamy Concepts. They were very professional, and we really enjoyed working with Steamy Concepts.
Steamy Concepts accepts all homeowners insurance. Call Steamy today or go to steamyconcepts.com.
I've never heard that before. That was pretty good.
Welcome back to Southwest Flavor. Here we're still talking here with the coach and Mr. Scott Tilley.
Hey,
really quick, Scott, a little shout out here to do to a team.
We did took some animals over to the Flowing Whales Little League event, so they hooked us up with some shirts while we were there. So just a shout out to the Flowing Whales Little League and softball, and of course I got my D-backs hat. They also hooked me up with one of those because D-backs do their give back program and help the Flowing Whales group there. So
awesome,
just good to see the kids out in the community, getting supported and stuff like that. I was just talking with the coach like how much how's the school being funded and. How's your funding in terms of fundraisers, and how do we do that? What's your next fundraiser coming up, Coach?
Well, for us, most of our fundraisers are done in the fall. So we have a big golf tournament, and we have some email fundraisers, just different events. Every program has different fundraisers that they have, but. Right now, we're closing in on the end of the school year, so most of our stuff will be done during late in the summer and early in the fall.
Awesome. All right. And your role as athletic director, so you oversee all the sports programs?
Yes, sir.
Right. So tell us about some of the other programs and the successes they've been having.
Well, I mean, let's just start. We'll go back a little bit into the fall. Our men and women's soccer team both went to the national tournament. The men lost in the semifinals, as did the women. So that was a great, start to the school year. And then we moved on into the winter sports, which includes basketball, and men and women's basketball. Both went to the national tournament. The men were undefeated. They were 34-0 going into the tournament, and they ended up getting upset while they were there. Ended up losing one game. I think they finished the season at 35-1. And then the women went. They upset the number 1 seed, Johnson County, who was 34-0 at the time, and eventually won the national championship. So it's been great. Obviously, we've had a lot of press on that. We had a big event at the gym with all of our with all of our teams and just people from the community coming out and celebrate. I know they're going to city council meeting, I believe, next Tuesday, and so it's been an awesome situation for our department and just our basketball team in general. So and now we're in the spring, so baseball and softball and track are going at it. Our softball team is doing very well. Our baseball team is just okay right now. We've had a lot of injuries that we're having to battle through, but we're fighting for a playoff spot. And then our track team will go to the conference meet this weekend, and we'll see how they do.
Well, it sounds like there's quite a bit of success in your program, which, as we were talking earlier, does make it easier for recruiting and even fundraising on that.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I mean, the better you are, I think the more people that notice, and the more people that are willing to help, donate, and obviously, it's much easier to get kids to come and play for you in any sport when you have success.
Yeah.
You need to get all those girls still in town. You said they were meeting next week.
Yeah,
or something
most of them are all here. I don't know that they all are here, but I think the majority of them are here.
I'd say get a bunch of those balls signed. That'd be some future fundraising things to do, and some memorabilia for them. I think would be a great fundraising tip. Track Ranch would take one of those balls for a fundraising thing, Coach.
That'd be great. That's a good idea. I'll talk to Todd about it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So let's go back here. The interview earlier with Edgar, and we're talking about the importance of sports and education, and we talked a bit about how important it is. It keeps the students more involved as far as wanting to do good in school, to be able to play the sports. Is there any challenges that you see in that happening?
I mean, I think there's always challenges, academically, with student athletes. For the most part, though, the kids that we have in all sports understand what's needed for them to be eligible to play. And the NJCAA and the NCAA do a good job with making sure that all student athletes are working towards their degree, and they put some rules in place that ensure that every student athlete is taking the right classes, and in order for them to continue to play and be eligible to play during that season, there's some things that they have to take care of. So I feel good about where all of our student athletes are at Pima. Obviously, there's going to be some that slide through the cracks that, just can't figure it out, But for the most part, we have great students. Our GPA as a whole in our department is a 3.2 GPA. So when you look at that, there's an understanding for all of our student athletes to know that if they do well in school, then the opportunities for them at the next level will be there. And so, I think it's something that we stress, all of our coaches stress with all of our kids, that it's important to have opportunities to continue to play. You need to do well in the classroom.
Yeah, I love that. I think, we kind of spoke to that too. It's like instilling in a young age, that commitment to the sports. You've got, I got to make grades to play if I'm going to play and be a part of this team. I can't let my teammates down. Mm-hmm. I think there's support systems in there for these guys too, tutors and some support systems for them to help get through some challenging classes. But I think it's that work ethic, Will. It just dials down to that work ethic of instilling in these young people that continues through life. It goes on to future, Division I schools, and hey, the Pima College is like a stepping stone to get you to the next big thing in your life. Whether it's a career or it's on to a bigger school or on to building a family or whatever it is. But I think it's it's so important to have a work ethic to be successful. Listening to the coach talk, he started teaching, then he started coaching. He's had a life of service, and he's still servicing kids in the community, and kind of just a great show. I love the common goals that we've had here today.
Yeah, no, so yeah, that is great. So the few minutes we have left here, Coach, your schedule, the baseball schedule, you have anything coming up here?
We have this weekend off. We were originally scheduled to play on Saturday, but the team that we were supposed to play canceled the games because of Easter weekend. I guess they didn't really realize that they were going to be playing on Easter weekend. So it just worked out fine for us. I mean, my guys need a break. My guys we have 10 games left in the season, and they're tired. We've had some injuries, and so we are going to practice today and play in an inter-squad game, and then, we have the weekend off. I'm giving them Friday, Saturday, Sunday off, which, for me is hard to do. Like I'm just such a, hey, we gotta continue to work. So
that's that work ethic.
Yeah, but then we play on Tuesday. We play South Mountain here on Tuesday, so it'll be a good matchup. They're leading our conference. They're really good, so we'll be excited to get out on the field and play those guys.
Where do you guys play? Where's your field?
Our field is on campus, West Campus. Well, that's where all the athletic facilities are. So we have baseball, softball, track, the gym, everything is over there at one campus.
Okay. And that's the campus that's over on...
It's on Anklam and Greasewood.
Okay.
Yeah, way out on the way out west.
Yeah, okay.
So, yeah, it's facilities are awesome, and so it's funny because people come in to play us, and they go out to the baseball field, and you're basically looking at the Catalina Mountains, through center field, and people are like, wow, I can't believe you get to come here and coach and see this view every day. And, for me, and for our players, you don't even really notice it anymore. Yeah. But when we play, we played a team from Wisconsin a couple weeks ago, and their coach is like, I can't believe this view. You get to see this every day. And I'm like, yeah, actually we do.
Yeah. The things we take for granted.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what? The horizons here are spectacular, both morning and evening. And
Absolutely.
I think, when you get to other states and you don't have that, you kind of, I kind of feel kind of claustrophobic. Get kind of like...
Yeah. It looks like a good recruiting tool, huh? You bring some of those kids you're recruiting into
for sure
to look at that and say, hey, look, you can look at this every day.
Yeah, no doubt.
Well, that's awesome. What about the softball team? When do they play?
They play on Tuesday as well. So, our schedules mirror each other. So we both always play double headers on Tuesday, double headers on Saturday. And so
is it usually at the same place?
No. Sometimes, we played this past Tuesday. We played at home against Glendale, and they played at home against Phoenix College. So, the schedules, the days are the same. Okay. The matchups probably most of the time aren't the same.
Okay. Any big standout big batter
for us?
Yeah.
We've got a couple of them. We've got a kid named Jackson Gleck, who's our first baseman, going to sign to go to the University of New Mexico, left-handed hitter, really good player. And then, Cooper Kruk is a local boy from Catalina Foothills who has signed to go to the U of A, probably going to get drafted. He'll be a major league draft by somebody. Okay. And then he'll have to make a decision whether or not he wants to play pro ball or go to the U of A. So, those guys for sure are our guys.
Yeah.
Great.
All right, Coach. Well, thank you for coming on. It was great having you. We'd love to have you back.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me.
What's a favorite restaurant for you? Since you're on the Southwest Flavor.
Wow. You know, I mean, I live right over there at Casas Adobes, and they just built the Charro steak right by my house. That's
common goal today. Huh?
Yeah, that's a great place. I could walk over there from my house, so that's exciting. And Ray, who runs it and owns it, is a good guy. So it's nice to be able to walk over there and have dinner with my wife and walk home.
Awesome.
That's awesome.
All right, guys, it's been fun, man.
Hey.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so that is going to be it for today's show. Ron will be back with you guys on Tuesday, live right here at 9 a.m. Until then, you guys have a great holiday weekend.